Momentarily. Okay, go ahead. So you were just explaining about putting your fingers down, yeah.
Well, it's like piano was easier for me when I played it for many years because technically, because I would just put my fingers in the keys. I would just sit down. It's actually more comfortable to just sit there. But in guitar, you have all this, guitar, you have, it's just how the guitar is made. It's like playing two instruments at once. And I think, well, that's why some people, they're not really, really emotional because the guitar is really hard to achieve that. It's easy to just get into this technicality of guitar and, oh, I'm putting my fingers in the right place and I'm moving them, technically perfect, But, the guitar, it's a challenge to be more than that because, it's a kind of a little bit of an uncomfortable instrument.
Mm,
But once you play it for a long time, you start to forget that, and you start to really get passion.
yeah. Yeah, no, well, this is a very inspirational video, I think probably for everyone because it's certainly easy to get lost in that technical place. I mean, here I'm coming from a place where I've just written a book on technique. I'm kind of the mindset, and I'd be curious to ask you right now. This is a little off the cusp, but I'm of the mindset that technique, the way that I approach this, is that I'll do my technique first. I do it first every single day before I practice or before I get into my repertoire. And then when I get into my repertoire, I let my fingers go. If there's something that comes up, of course, that's going to be able to enhance the music or that I need to fix, then I'll look at it. But I don't really have to bring I don't have to bring the two worlds together. I can do all technique and be completely focused on that. And then I can go and work on the emotional repertoire interpretation aspect. How do you approach this?
I usually do work them separate like that too. I mean, I work on several things a day. I'll spend some time working on technique and some other time working on like expression. Some days like they're both together. Some days like they'll be separate. Some days I'll spend some time just fixing on technique and just working on the metronome. I'll play through it. Maybe I'll go to another piece and it'll be better. So I'll work on something else instead. They're just kind of. I'm still experimenting with practice habits and things like that, and finding what really works best for me. But
Gotcha.
and usually when I'm more finished with the piece, I will work on all those things, fixing things as I go along. But usually by the time my concert's coming up, I usually just work on the interpretation. And if I'm playing something and I mess something up, then I'll fix that. Find any weak spots.
Mm-hmm. That's always fun. Finding
Yeah.
the weak spots. No, okay, well that's good to know. So I see you're saying it's more fluid for you, and you're still kind of experimenting, and that's a good thing. But in general, it sounds like you are. Is it true to say that you do kind of separate them often?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do separate them for now. I mean, I know many great artists that they can just work on all these things just at once and they've got it, and it's like amazing to see them work like that.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. Well, I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're not far away from that. So let's see here. Let's see. What's the next question we have here? We have. Oh, here's a good question. I mean, I think I already know the answer to this, but how set or how fluid is your interpretation of this Barrios piece, for instance? I mean, I'm guessing because you said it's so emotional for you that it's probably very fluid. But from your perspective, like how much does it change time to time?
over a period of time, it changes a little bit. It's different for people, but usually the more I play it, the more mastered it gets, and I think the more mature it gets. I will change little things depending on how I feel. Um, we were talking to Elliot about Elliot Fisk earlier, and he told me that he never plays, every time he plays a piece, he never plays it the same way. The next time he plays a piece, he plays it completely different. And I admire him for that because, that's something to really be creative is what really you have to reach for as an artist.
Mm,
To be stagnant is not good. That's like, that won't let you grow as a musician.
I would agree, and we're pausing here to